This is what happens when the clergy, well, not clergy plural, but one clergy is in charge of all technical things. So we always have to begin with the prayer that everything works right. So anyways, welcome back everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And we're still in the middle of May. This is still the same service, just a continuation. So let me ask you that difficult question.
Okay.
How was your week? And that threw us into a tizzy.
Full of technical difficulties, apparently. Okay. I'm making sure we're on Facebook and YouTube because now all these people are sending me texts that it's not, and it is. I promise it is. Just give it a second.
What are they saying? They can't get on?
Because they tried to get on in the interim, I think, is what happened. So,
if you're on Facebook, take a moment and say Shabbat Shalom
to each other,
and then we will get a little bit of a stream, knowing that everyone's watching.
Yes. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I think that was for the other one. All right, we're going to look in a second. You're going to tell me if we're here. I shouldn't have stopped it. Okay, we are live with 26 people on Facebook. Stay tuned. Okay. And that's 6 days ago. That's not going to work. And we are back on YouTube. We are up and running. So if you're having trouble, you're probably not seeing me say that. So sorry for anyone who's having trouble.
All right, well, listen, I'm not even going to welcome them back because this will be the third time.
I'm not an IT person, but I've done really well the last 9 weeks.
All right.
Okay.
Well, listen, this is an exciting week. You were going to share this pun originally about the masks.
Yes.
That was our leadoff pun.
All right, so I saw something funny on a fellow cantor's post today. They said, I'm having trouble recognizing people with masks on. What are we going to call this syndrome of, like, I don't know who you are because I can't see your face. So I liked the one that was unfamascularity, like unfamiliarity.
Yeah.
So you can chime in with what you think would be a funny pun for
what?
masks.
Not wearing a mask?
No, you're wearing a mask, you don't recognize someone. They walk in, you don't recognize who they are. Like, I've thought that people are like 4 different people because I just see their eyes.
I call that normal.
That is true. You have that thing. Somebody posted about. There's like an actual thing where you don't recognize.
That's right.
My husband has it too.
Oh, good. I knew I liked it. Well, listen. You know, we've been adjusting a lot during this time of the corona, and one of the adjustments we have been making in terms of bar and bat mitzvahs, and we know that we had one virtual with Maverick, but others we had to reschedule into a later time period. So we thought, well, there was someone special who was supposed to have her bat mitzvah tomorrow, and we thought we'd welcome her and her family virtually tonight, even though she's postponed her service to the fall. So Maya, come on up just so you can be on camera if you want. Go ahead, right over there. She has unmasked herself. There's Maya, wave to the camera. So we welcome Maya's family. They are gathered from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Ohio, Vermont, Illinois, Florida, California. What about Summerlin? Of course, and Henderson. So all of you do a virtual wave to Maya, and we wave to you as well. So thank you for sharing in the nachas of this moment, because she is going to help lead services tonight. Thanks, Maya. All right. So it was going to be her bat mitzvah tomorrow, but it'll be in October. So stay tuned. Yes, God willing. So we have a few things coming up. Obviously, tomorrow morning will be Shabbat with Torah study at 8:45, and the group is growing. So I hope you tune in at 8:45. Later in the week, on Thursday night, we are going to have preschool graduation. They're actually going to drive into our parking lot, and they're going to make a caravan and do some shout-outs to all the graduating preschoolers. So it's going to be a really fun time, but I understand it'll also be shown virtually. So that'll be 6:30 on May 21st. And since you have Thursday in your mind, the following Thursday will be Shavuos. So the Board of Rabbis have invited the cantors and the rabbis to come together to celebrate Shavuos and a Tikkun Leil Shavuos on Thursday night, the last Thursday of the month, from 8 p.m. to 8:30. The cantors will lead a Ma'ariv service, And then 8:30 till 1 a.m., you will get a stream of different rabbis teaching for about 45 minutes to an hour each. And the theme that we're all going to have in common is a TV show. So some are going to do Seinfeld, some are going to do, well, I'm going to do Tiger King. I'm going to do Gilligan's Island. But even though the title might be a little silly, the topic will be serious or silly, depends on the rabbi.
But I think I should kick it off with something else.
That's right. Well, since it is Shavuos, one of my favorite desserts, cheesecake. What do you want to do about that?
Okay, so before we get on for Ma'ariv services at 8 p.m., we are going to make some cheesecake for Shavuot. So we're going to do a cooking, not with Cantor, but at Cantor's. So as you know...
Another pun, at Cantor's, this Cantor.
At my house, yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be at 6 p.m. And as you know, I am not a good cook. I have like a list of maybe 5 things that I'm really great at making, and I'm so good at those things. Cheesecake is not one of them. However, I am blessed to have a husband who is very good in the kitchen, and it's going to be a little funny because he's going to try to teach me how to make cheesecake and also at the same time teach you. So hopefully you'll join us for that prior to our service.
We could do a sequel to this. You could teach me how to sing. That would probably be just as hysterical as Jeremy trying to teach you to cook. We'll see. True. We can take a vote on that.
Yeah.
So a lot of nice things coming up, and we also have my Hasidic stories for adults, the third part. That's going to be on Wednesday, and you have.
We have our Lila Tov story time, which I know you guys like that one. So Emmett enjoys reading books to all of you on Mondays and Thursdays. Our Hebrew boot camp on Tuesdays and sometimes on Thursdays. We also have our Neshama flow, which will be expanding soon to other forms of fitness so that you'll be able to work out with us, meditate with us, and to have a little thoughtful introspection at the same time.
That's good. So pretty much every day of the week, there's going to be something Jewish you can tune into virtually. But for right now, Ricky, are we ready?
We're ready.
All right, let's begin Shabbat.
All right. Thought we'd start with something traditional so that we can all enjoy being together even though it's not physically. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la la ya la 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 la. All right, so hopefully at home you have your Shabbat candlesticks and you are ready to light and kindle this very special Shabbat that we celebrate, not only Shabbat but also our friend Maya. And so we are going to light the Shabbat candles together at this time. May this light up our homes and our hearts.
She can do it with a blessing.
Yeah.
You're right there. And you're going to cover your eyes when she sings.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Page 124 in your prayer book. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship, May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Amen.
And so we welcome the Shabbat bride on page 138, Lecha Dodi. Verse 9, we rise to greet the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha, uv'sohola, toch emunei, am segula.
Standing for the Berra.
Page 146.
Awake, am I prepared?
Page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, for whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai hamari v'ravim.
As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me, did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'elech asher anohim metzabecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam b'shivtecha v'beitecha u'leftecha b'derech u'chshachbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'chayu letov b'neinecha u'chtachtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha Leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yatem kedoshim le'elechem ani Adonai elechem asher hotzeitiatem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai elechem Adonai elechem emet.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei felech, mi kamocha b'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, osei felech. V'ne'emar ki fad Adonai et Yaakov, ugelo miyad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
So it is tradition for the bar and bat mitzvah to lead us in a yismechu, which is about the joy, the oneg of Shabbat. So we are not doing it tomorrow morning. We'll do it for Maya in October, but we still thought that it would be nice to take a moment and celebrate the joy of Shabbat with the dance. So we're going to teach you the choreography. I want to see pictures and selfies of this happening in your homes. I want them on my phone as soon as services are over, because I want to make sure that everybody is delighting in Shabbat. So this is the dance Maya's going to teach us. Okay, here we go. Ready? Yismechu b'malachutecha Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, V'korei oneg Shabbat. So we're going to do that 8 times. And again, need the selfies. And if you're following along with the text, we are on page 162 in your Mishkan Tefillah. Here we go. Now I need a drink of water because that was just like tiring, but aren't you happier? Isn't that making your Shabbat to do a little dance? I hope so. So I want to give a shout out to the mentor who taught me the joy of Yismechu, which is Rabbi Stephen Einstein. So if he happens to be watching, I'm passing it down from generation to generation just for you. So we turn now to our Amidah and our standing prayer, and we turn to page 164 and rise as you are able.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufia tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. silent devotion through page 180, using the words on the right or the left side of the page or the words within your heart. When you have completed your prayers, please be seated.
So now we take a few moments for our Shabbat prayer. It's a prayer of hope and of healing, of love and community. So if you'd like to share some names of people in your circle of love, type it into the screen now if you'd like. We include them in our prayers. So at this time of Shabbat, we ask that God give strength to those who struggle of the heart or the mind, of addiction, people who are feeling alone or lost, people who are physically ill, emotionally need to be sustained with a sense of hope because these are trying times. And we think of those who are caregivers as well, who minister to those who are sick. We ask that God bless them with strength, with koach, with patience, and an abundance of love, that they might care for those that they care about so much. And so we think especially of these names that were given to me, of Zorach, of Jeff Jonas, Sonia Haggerty. I think of members of my own family. I'm going to do a shout out to my sister Dina, of course, my mother, and Cantor. Do we have others?
We do. Joe Gallo, Daphne Levy, George Assa, Carrie Levy, Ray Block, Peter Rudder, Dave Selleck and Cynthia Albright, Sonia Haggerty, the Testa family, Pat DeMaine, Betty Nixon, Adam Kopke, Stuart Baker, Mindy Nanny, the Draymore family, Elizabeth Hance. Moving to our YouTube. Avi Weiss, Brian Tabak, Arthur Clark, all of the first responders, doctors, nurses, therapists, and caregivers, Antoinette Swina, Bill Schroeder. We think of all of those and all of the people within our hearts and everyone who has no one to say Mishaberach for them.
Before us, help us
Well, Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. So this chutzpahdik accountant once approached God, saying, I hear that 1,000 years is but a second for you, God, and $1 million is just like a penny. If that is true, can you give me a penny? And God, of course, replied, sure, just give me a second. It's a thinking joke. I don't know about you, but it seems like a long time since things were normal. Somewhere between a human second and a God second. A long time since we had our synagogue full with Purim pride, busy Shabbat oneg, simchas celebrated in our sanctuary. A long time since we went out to eat, went to work in our usual way, rooted for our sports teams. A long time. At first, we counted the days. Oh my gosh, it's been like a week since this thing started. We're sheltered in place. Oh, it's been a month since this thing's been going on. How long? And with each passing day, each passing week, we slowly began to stop counting. And one day, it started to blur into the next and the next. Is it Sunday? Is it Wednesday? Is it the first? Is it I don't know. Honey, what day of the week is it? We stopped counting. Keep a schedule, we were told. Or you could end up simply watching a lot of TV, gaining a lot of weight, and your clothes of choice would just be your pajamas. Well, remain active, call your friends, keep your minds active, get up and do. And we did. Well, at least at first. But now we are anxious for things to open up, to return to, well, whatever new normal is going to look like. Phase 1. Only we're not quite so sure how we feel about it, what it's going to look like. But you know what? There's a danger when we stop counting. And perhaps that is why Judaism puts a great value on the notion of counting. There's a superstitious type of counting, nicht one, nicht two, not one, not two. And there's a type of counting which recognizes the holiness in life. In Hebrew, we say that Sunday is Yom Rishon, the first day, and Tuesday is, Monday is Yom Sheni, and Yom Shlishi is Tuesday, and so forth and so on until we get to the seventh day, which is Shabbat. Every week we count towards holiness, towards the Sabbath. Well, there's a time between Passover and Shavuos, between Pesach and Shavuot, where we are right now. And from Passover to Shavuos, it's a period of 50 days. And since the time of the Bible, we were commanded to count those days, literally count them. This mitzvah derives from the Torah commandment to count, beginning from the day on which the Omer, a sacrifice containing a certain measure of barley called the Omer, was offered in the temple in Jerusalem. And so we would say today is the first day of the counting of the Omer, and today is the second day of the Omer, and this would go on day after day during this time period. And there are also restrictions. You weren't allowed to, for example, have a wedding during this time period, except for one day, which happened to fall this week. It is the 33rd day of the counting of the Omer, Lag BaOmer. So in Israel, for example, lots of weddings on this particular day, lots of festivities and music which are normally not allowed between Passover and Shavuos. Well, like the run-up to Shabbat, this counting from Passover to Shavuos is a commemoration of the journey that the Israelites took from the time that they left Egypt until the time they received the 10 Commandments. It is a time towards holiness and the gift that God gives us that we call the mitzvot. Any parallel here? Let's see. When the Israelites left Egypt, it was not easy, it was painful, it was disruptive, and their entire way of life was destroyed. And in its stead was a question mark, merely a promise that someday things would be better, but not for a while. Short term, there would be some degree of discomfort, pain, perhaps even famine, hunger, thirst. The Israelites were afraid, and rightly so. Well, what did they do? They began to romanticize their past. Take me back to Egypt, Moses. At least there we had a place to sleep. At least there we had food, we had water, we knew what was coming. It may have been the taskmaster's whip, but we knew how to behave to avoid it. And now each day is filled with anxiety and the unknown. Maybe if they had thought about it, they'd call that phase 1 of our history. And with each day they counted, each day seemed like it was a day of loss. But time has a way of bringing events into perspective. What started as a time of counting days of loss, of misery for the Israelites, centuries, 1,000 years, 2,000, 3,000 years later has morphed into a holiday in which we count the days that increase towards holiness, towards Shavuos. Today, the counting of the Omer represents the counting towards better days and the rebuilding of a nation and the start of something very special. So special that in recounting those days, we are encouraged to transform our very lives. As we begin the process, we recite, today is the first day of the counting of the Omer, today is the second day of the counting of the Omer, and so forth, knowing that at the end of this counting, we will have reached a point in our historic memory when the new normal is transformative in ways that the Israelites, and dare I say us, that we could never have imagined. This week, as I mentioned, we pause in that counting as we celebrate Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day in the counting of this time period. Lag BaOmer is traditionally a big deal in Israel. They have bonfires, they have, as I mentioned, weddings, they have music, they have haircuts, everything that they were not allowed to do during this period of time, they're allowed to do, and they do it with great gusto. It's a return to normalcy that they had been forbidden to do just for 33 days. And why the 33rd day in the counting of the Omer? Again, ironies abound. Because 2,000 years ago, there was a terrible plague. And the 33rd day of the counting of the Omer was the time in which the plague ended. Thousands died, but a few survived. And from those few that survived grew this incredible civilization of the Jewish people. And so ever since that time, when we count the Omer, we make sure that that one day is remembered as a day of rebirth, regeneration, and celebration and great joy. And so as we mark that day with special celebration, even to this day, we remember that each day is not the same. And some days are worth remembering. And yes, every day is worthy of being counted. The counting of the Omer, making each day count, that's a sermon in and of itself. But let's be realistic. Right now, when each day has started to blur one into the next, it has become increasingly hard. We don't want to count today. We want to count how many days are remaining of our todays. How many days will there be like today? Until we can return to what we remember, days in which we were able to simply take each day for granted, normal. But we know that normal is what normal does. There is a new normal upon us, and we will go into it until it is just what normal has become. A world of face masks, of plexiglass, of Zoom, of caution, and sometimes difficult decisions. So it is up to us to make each day count by understanding that each day is still a gift, not some blurry passage of time. Each day is a fight to thrive amidst bad news. Each day is a struggle to keep a positive attitude when the news is often so darn sad. And so how do we do this? we continue to count. Our modern day Omer is not a measure of barley. It is a measure of our determination, our will, our resiliency, and our attitude. We can understand that each day is significant, not insignificant, that each day, every day, challenges and all, that each day is important and an important opportunity. To think or act differently is a matter of choice and attitude. And sometimes our ability to keep our attitude positive, that is the only thing we do have control over. So let me share a simple story with you by way of analogy. Pretend that you are holding a cup of coffee, and someone comes along and bumps into you or shakes your arm, making you spill your coffee everywhere. Why did you spill the coffee? Well, your answer is because someone bumped into me. Wrong answer. You spilled the coffee because in that cup was coffee. There was coffee in the cup. Had it been filled with tea, you would have spilled tea. Whatever is inside the cup will spill out. Therefore, when life comes along and shakes you, which will happen, whatever is inside you will come out. It's easy to fake it until you get rattled. So we have to ask ourselves, what's in my cup? When life gets tough, what spills over? Is it anger, bitterness, harsh words, and reactions? Life provides you the cup. You choose how you're going to fill it. So today, let's work towards filling our cups with gratitude, forgiveness, joy, words of affirmation and kindness, gentleness and love for others. In other words, let the measure of each day be in our ability to invest each day with meaning, each day counting, not backwards, but always, always forward. Shabbat Shalom.
This is a beautiful prayer by my friend Cantor Marsha Atty, that I thought paired nicely with the words that Rabbi just gave us.
Oh, heart of mine, lost and find, my home is sometimes near and sometimes far. It's always changing. Oh, heart of mine, take the time to feel the sadness. Love is always near. It seems they go together. The walls are coming down and down and down, and life is going round and round and round, and love it will be found and found and found. It's all inside of you. It's all inside of you.
We continue in our prayer books with the Aleinu, page 586. If you're able, please rise.
And also at this time, if you want to begin to give your names for Cottage, we have a significant delay between us and you. So if you want those names to be read, please begin to put them in now. Thank you.
Separation,
turn in our prayer books to our Cottage Prayer. And as Cantor said, if you'd like to submit a name to be read for Cottage or Yortzeit, please make sure that you type those names in now because there is a little bit of a delay. Oh goodness, what page?
598.
There we go. 598 for Cottage. We recall with the preciousness of memory the recent passing of Esther Esben, Arlene Kaloff, Bernie Matisow, Laverne Henderson, Sam Lieberman, William Denton Pratt, Joan Finkelman, Harvey Golden, Eugene Arnold, Robert Forst, Kenneth Richard Lewis, Don Gartrell, Abraham Margolis, Jeff Height, Rory Pink, and Dee Klein. The preciousness of memory, we recall the Yortzites of Anita Abrams, Fausto Acosta, Nathan Albala, Bob Carter, Bernard Cohen, Jessica Doctors, Mitchell Dorson, Madeline Faden, Lowell Thomas Ferguson, Marion Friedner, Samuel Gershovsky, Yetta Goldberg, Abraham Goldstein, Dee Gresson, Flo Harris, Frida Hurwitz, Rose Huckstein, Jack Kaufman, Bessie Kreisman, Betty Medora Matter, Harold Miller, Saul Miller, Jane Ostrov, Albert Pessin, Everett Raphael, Richard Ritter, Catherine Rubin, Sylvia Saltz, Arthur Sawyer, Louis Schulman, Zola Siegel, Daniel Silverstein, Milt Wasserman, Murray Weissman, Moira Williams. Enter.
Louis Fromm, Hillary Asher. I don't seem to have any on Facebook.
Doesn't seem we have any names submitted on Facebook tonight. Lori? Okay. So we think of all these and so many others as we join together and sing Kaddish. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, V'yalma Divrach Yirutei V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechom V'yomechom V'chayedachol Beit Yisrael, Magalab Izman Kariv Imru Amen. Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Omei Maya, Yit Barach V'yish Tabach V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Ramam V'yit Naseh, V'yit Tadar V'yit Taleh V'yit Talal Shmei Dekusha B'richu, Leila Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tush Bechata V'nechemata, Dami Ram B'alma V'yimru Amen. Yishlam Rabbah Min Shemai V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Osei Shalom B'mama, Uyasei Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to which we say,
Amen.
Well, it's time for a little Kiddush and Motzi.
I need a glove.
Here's a glove.
So we call Maya back to the Bima to help us in leading the Kiddush and Motzi. So Maya, go ahead and take that middle one. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Amen.
L'chaim. Oh, wait a minute. What about the challah?
And thank you to Maya and her mom, Julie, for sponsoring our challah tonight. They didn't think we needed any toppings or filling, so we're very plain tonight, but we are grateful for the challah as it will give us sustenance. And next week is the Mann family. They are going to chocolate it up for Rabbi, I know it.
All right, here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Delicioso. All right. So, what do you think we should have for our final song? Should it be Osei Shalom? Great choice. What do you think?
I like it. So we're going to
All
do
right.
Nab Tehillah Osei Shalom so we can rock out to Shabbat on our way out. Rock out on our way out.
All right.
And thank you to Ricky, as always, for the beautiful accompaniment.
Put that down.
Oh,
Stand
say
there.
shalom
Good, just put it here.
bimromav.
You stand right back
Say shalom
there.
aleinu.
Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen.
I'm being choked by the challah.
Oh, say shalom bimromav.
Ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru.
Amen. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Hey.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Hey, say shalom b'romav. Oh, ya'aseh shalom aleinu.
Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol shbei Tevel, v'imru. Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you for being with us this Shabbat. Shabbat shalom.